Boom. All right, we're live. Bam. Let's get started here. Welcome. This is a good one. It's going to be short. It's going to be powerful. I'll tell you right now, if you're having trouble hiring people, it's most likely because you're doing it wrong. You're using the wrong language. And it's so easy to do. So we'll go over it. Welcome. Hey, Jay Allen, welcome. Tonight's a good one. We're going to talk about how to write language ads, like want ads to hire new people. So if you want to try to grow your team. Anyway, so yes, sir. Welcome. All right. Let's get started here. Let's see. Not going to be on as long tonight. Had a long day, got a lot tomorrow, but this content's really good. So I'm excited for you. It makes a big difference when you put out, if you're trying to find people to work for you and you use the same message that people were using 10, 20 years ago, you're attracting the wrong people. Kids today, they respond differently. They need to hear a different message. So you can find good workers and you can find younger kids to work for you. You got to speak their language. So let's get into that. Let me share my screen with those that are on YouTube. Welcome. If you're new, let me know where you're from. All right, here we go. So look, I kind of joke with people. Like a lot of people think you have to speak Spanish to be successful these days in remodeling. And it's not really the case. You got to learn to speak to the young kids. Okay. It's called like Millennial-eze or Gen Z-eze is kind of how I call the lingo. So here's the deal. Give me 1 second. So kids today, they look for things that are different than we did, right? Especially like their parents. They don't want those old tired jobs that their parents worked in. They want lifestyles. Kids today, if you notice, where I grew up, when I was getting out of school, everybody wanted to buy an old house and rehab it. That was real popular. Kids today don't want to do that. They don't want to rehab anything necessarily to the same extent because they just want to live in something nice now. So a lot of these developers where I'm from, they'll build these really nice apartments, but they make it more like a community. And that's what kids want today. They want to be a part of a group. Many of them, even though they have their cell phones, they're often not connected really well. So if they are going to go to work and work out in the field, they kind of want to intermix with people and be part of a good team. And you got to speak that way when you're trying to find people to work for you. Um, I did a training a little while back and we had a lot of young kids there and a lot of them are in the trades, right? They're all in the trades. And what they were telling us is if they see something that says like help wanted, they think that that's a job for their dad. But when they see certain keywords, and I'll go over them here in a few minutes, they respond to that. And you'll be shocked when you hear this. So stay with me. This is some good stuff. So a lot of us remodelers, if we've been doing it for a while, when we put out an ad to try to hire somebody, it's like it's invisible because the young kids, pretty much anyone from about like mid, let's say maybe 30 on down, they're not even reading your ad. It doesn't make any sense to them. So think about this. Right now, millennials and Gen Z, they pretty much make up the next generation of the labor force. Millennials currently are like 29 to almost 40, right? In the 29 to 40 range. Gen Z, they're around like in the teenage to 20s age group, like 28 almost. That's who you're trying to attract. So you have to learn to speak their language. And so you don't want your ad to say carpenter wanted, must have 5 years experience, call or apply, right? That's the ad that like our parents would run. No, that's not what you want. And if you're wondering why kids aren't applying, it's because they're not interested in that. So you gotta be a little different. Here's what you need. So the Gen Z group, they want to be, they want purpose. They want to be a part of something. They want to be part of a cause. They want it to be fun. They want some creativity and growth, right? And they want a work-life balance. Got to remember that. It's not that they don't want to work hard. They're just not going to work like 60, 80 hours a week, most of them. So you have to think about what Subway did. Subway came out with the term sandwich artiste. And so when they want to hire these young kids to come work in a Subway shop, that's what the ad says. Do you want to be a sandwich artist? And they train you to become a sandwich artist. And you will hear people talk about how they loved their first job at Subway being a sandwich artist because they got to create subs. Look, they made subs, but Subway made it cool by calling it being a sandwich artist. Think about that for a minute. So you have to look at what are you trying to attract? Like, is it the home artist? Is it a future crew leader? Is it a real craftsman? Right? You don't say help wanted, you say craftsman wanted. And you also have to show them that you're going to help move them along so that they won't always just be a helper. Show them that you have progression to move them from helper to lead to maybe a project manager or foreman down the road. And show them that they can be part of your group, your community, not just coming to get a paycheck. They want to have like fun stuff to do, to be a part of the team. They like company gear. They want to have the nice things that say your company logo on it, maybe their name, I don't know. But they want some nice things. They want to feel like proud of where they work. And it has to be cool. Don't try to go with don't buy like the 70s polo that's made out of like all scratchy cotton. Get the nice stuff, this weather tech thing, the stuff that the young kids like. So example, you might say, hey, join our crew and learn how to transform homes with purpose. Tell us, what does a dream kitchen look like to you? And you'll have these kids respond and you'll be shocked. All right. All right, let's keep going here. So you also have millennials. Those guys are like aged roughly like 29 to almost like 43 right now. So that's shocking to me. All right. So anyway, they want growth. They want stability. They want a culture fit. They want fair pay. All right. So you can't be cheap with the pay. But they also are looking for mentorship. Their parents didn't know how to fix shit. So their parents have no tool capability. So if you're willing to bring one under your wing, as they say, and teach them some tricks, teach them how to be a true technician, craftsman, they'll be up for that. So for a carpenter, you might show them, hey, we're going to help you move along so that you'll be a helper, carpenter, lead carpenter, then maybe a project manager, right? To maybe an area director for my company if like we have multiple projects. So let them know that their purpose is that they're going to help families love their homes again, right? You're going to be like the doctor, the house doctor. You're going to go in, take a sick house, you're going to perform live surgery on it, and you're going to bring it back to life for the homeowner. They want to feel like what they're doing is important. And I know this sounds silly to some of us if you're older, all right? And just follow me. It's just the way that we were raised when we were kids. If you or I were born 30 years later, you would be doing exactly what these kids do. It's not that we're better than them, different. It's just that's the culture that they were raised in. Okay. And we were raised in a different culture. So that's why different things work for us as opposed to them. And once you understand that, then you'll figure out better ways to attract them. So example, like your ad, your pitch to a young kid would, hey, come be a lead carpenter, right? We're looking for somebody who can build homes and your legacy, right? We have a growth path, we have mentorship, and we have stable projects all included in this offer. That's going to appeal to them, that type of an ad. So if you want younger people, you have to speak their language. Now, how about the Gen Xers? That's what I fall into that range, right? If you're trying to attract a slightly older, like a Gen Xer, we want respect, right? Autonomy, consistency, leadership opportunities. So then to attract somebody like myself in my age bracket, you typically have to have trust in your language. Let them know that you're going to respect their experience, right? And also let them know that you'll offer a little bit of mentorship so that they can lead the next generation. And they want security. They're not looking for chaos. If you're having trouble balancing your business checkbook, it's going to be hard for you to convince a stable person to come work for you, right? They want to see that you have jobs lined up, that you have a system in place to keep getting those jobs, because they don't want to come work for you so that they're busy for 3 months. And then you have to tell them, hey, it's going to be slow the next couple of months. You might want to get a part-time job. That's not what they're looking for. And they want you to be somebody that keeps your word, right? That's important. So an example of how you might run their ad, you'll say, hey, run jobs your way, with a company that honors your experience, and, be the mentor that these younger builders are going to look up to. So it can be very lucrative if you do that. All right. So hopefully you see the difference. Hey, welcome. Glad you're here. All right. So real quick, I think you're seeing what I'm saying. It's you just have to speak differently. We're still doing the same thing. We still just need bodies on job sites to perform tasks. But the way we talk to them, if you wrote 3 different ads, I would say that most likely you would find they would attract 3 different people from 3 different generations, typically. So that's pretty much what I have for you tonight. That in my group, we go in more in depth and we have examples of how this looks like. Let's see, what can I get into here, Gen Z? So for your AI prompt, you would say something like this. Hey, I run a remodeling company. I need to hire a helper, an apprentice, the carpenter, my office admin, whatever it is. And maybe you want to do the Gen Z friendly ad. So here you're going to do, hey, you're looking for a craftsman, a true builder, a home transformationist, right? Their purpose is to be belonging, and they'll have growth. You'll be mentored. You'll be part of a crew. We're going to show you some modern tools and technology that's going to help you get your job done more efficiently so you have more free time and you don't have to work long hours. We're going to help keep you organized. We keep it a little casual, but we're creative. Hey, and you got to be social media friendly. Young kids want to work at a place that's cool and hip and has an Instagram account. So if you don't have those things, you might be time to start so that you can track the younger generation. You can even say something to these young kids like, hey, send me over a portfolio of some of the best jobs that you've done. They have camera rolls full of projects that they've worked on. They probably have a better camera roll of photos than you do if you haven't been doing social media yourself. So use that phrase and, see what you attract. So anyhow, what kind of questions anybody want? We can talk about anything you guys want if you're curious about hiring people. But the thing is, I hear this a lot and it's not true. People say that there's no good help. That's not the case. You're just struggling to get your message out there to find the right help. Today I got to travel and meet with some just Fabuwood kitchen cabinet company. They have a training center not that far from me for the East Coast. And I got to spend the day with them. There are tons of young kids in the industry. 2 of the kids that work at Fabuwood are young and they love what they do. That company has gone from 40 people to 1,200 people in the last couple of years. I want you to think about this. They build kitchen cabinets. They're one of the fastest growing kitchen cabinet companies in the United States. They're the largest independent kitchen cabinet company in the United States. And they just started in business in 2009. They had 40 people when they started. And they now have over 1,200 workers. There are tons of young people that want to be in this industry, but you have to be kind of cool and hip, and you have to kind of change your message. You know, they don't want to go to work in some old dungy, dirty factory. They want you to, they want you to like spruce it up, renovate it a little bit, you know, then they want to come work for you. So just keep that in mind. All right. Um, but yeah, absolutely. Like I learned a lot of new things today being down there about, so I've been doing kitchens for a long time, and the way the industry is changing, everything's getting more customized. That's becoming just a standard offering. It's crazy. Like this company, their face frames are dovetailed, right? So if you've ever bought cheap cabinets, and over time that face frame can start to come off, if depending on how it was installed or not, because most companies just do a dado and glue it, maybe tack it. But this company does a dovetail. Like that face, this cabinet is solid. It's not going anywhere. Uh, Little things like that, um, the overlays on the doors, the insets that they're doing, all the fancy extension pieces that you can get in and out of cabinets now. It's really amazing. They're doing 39-inch wall cabinets as standard now because so many homes that are being built today have like 9-foot ceilings. Not everybody wants a 42-inch cabinet. With a 39-inch cabinet, you can do nicer moldings up top. So and like this has become standard now. That it used to be more custom, but no, not now. It's standard. So it's pretty cool stuff. They're doing a lot of things with glass doors, and they build a lighting channel into the face frame so that you can get it from the manufacturer with the light kit already in. Really cool stuff. So that you can do, I call it like a semi-custom kitchen for a homeowner and it's really good value, right? You can give them that pop. Now, this is not for like $1 million plus homes, okay? So you're still going to go with custom cabinetry there, but for a lot of people that are under, maybe $500,000 homes, and they really want a nice kitchen, this is a good product line to put in there where they can still get some fancy stuff, and give it that wow factor. So anyway, if you have a kitchen distributor near you, or you're looking to get into it with a new one, I would recommend checking out the Fabuwood product line. Now, again, it's not high end. Okay. So these are more value based cabinets. But for those of you that get into like rehabbing and you're doing your own flips or you have rental properties, I'm telling you, this looks really sharp and at that price point. So they have, and for you guys in the plumbing and vanity, I mean, they have some really nice vanities too that you should look into. So very cool company. Um, Amazing turnaround time. So if you live on the East Coast, you can get cabinets turned around in like a day because you can drive up to the factory. You can put in an order. You can drive up to the factory and remove that cabinet yourself. Now, if you're getting it delivered, it takes like a week, maybe 2 weeks tops if it's got a lot of custom features. I mean, that's insane. That's like unheard of. I don't know any other cabinet company, unless you have your own private, local builder. And even then, getting a cabinet turned around like that, there's the technology that they've put into place. They are just so efficient. It's crazy that they can have these insane turnaround times. So it helps for remodelers because you might have, like in the past, I would tell homeowners, like, we can't start your kitchen for at least 2 months because we have to wait for the cabinet order, right? Not now. Not now. Yeah, actually, I'm not sure about that. I know that right now they're having trouble, Dalton, getting them into Canada because of, unfortunately, with the trade. But so for people in the US, what's nice is this is what's crazy. The owner of Fabuwood saw that tariff situations was probably going to be a problem in the future. So Everything they do, all their products, it's all US based. They haven't been hit by these tariffs. So for those of you that are using imported cabinetry and watching your prices go up, that's another reason why you might want to check out Fabuwood. That hasn't happened with them. They've been able to keep their prices down. So pretty cool stuff. And everything's US based, but they use like Blum hardware. They use really nice. Their their drawers are dovetailed. Like everything's They really build a good cabinet, right? It's just you can't get super custom. It's not like having it built to spec for the house, but it's close. I mean, the quality of the cabinet is good. The only downside right now is they don't have a ton of stain finishes. They primarily just use, I believe it's all birch for their cabinetry. Okay, so it's a very consistent finish. Um, and so you'll see, but they've got a lot of nice updated color patterns, you know. So their stuff's not dated because again, they just got into business in 2009. So they got in at a good time when trends were already changing. And so they're not a lot of their it's not like their company's a holdover where you see some cabinet companies right now, they're still trying to sell things that went out 20 years ago. Yeah, you got it. Fabuwood. Fab you would. Funny name, I think. I like the name. It's funny though. So, but anyway, I mean, it's just again, I I realize that quality of product, especially when it comes to kitchens, there's hundreds of different choices, right? But this product line and with their vanity line for bathrooms, it's something to be worth checking out. And what I'm saying is, do not do not go to Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards. Like you should check out this. I believe most of the country, not only is the product nicer across the board, like 10 times nicer, but from a price perspective, it's going to be right where the crap that you're buying at the big box stores pretty much is from what I'm understanding right now in my area. I can't speak to prices across the country, but what we see where we are is the junk that you're buying at the home. See, a lot of people, if you are buying from Home Depots and Lowe's, like a lot of times, part of the appeal is you can get things quick from them, right? Or they'll finance your customer. So I can see that. But the quality, we all know that if it's coming from Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, the quality is usually shit, right? Because they're selling it on scale. But with this stuff coming out of Fabuwood, your client would get, or even if it's for your own stuff, like it is much higher quality. So anyway, and for those of you like if you're doing islands and you want panels, even if you want to do shiplap, like if you're doing an island and the front has all the doors, but you need something for the back, they sell like shiplap beadboard that's already finished to match the cabinet, or you can choose like if you're doing two-toned cabinetry, right? Like that's a big thing right now. The base cabinets is one color, the wall color is another. Well, on your islands, if you want to do two-toned islands and then you want to do the back panel like as a shiplap or a beadboard, you can order it from them and it's already the factory finish to match. Now, look, some of you guys are very talented and you're going to take and get like Sherwin-Williams or Benjamin Moore. You'll get them to tint the paint to match, and your painter can do a fabulous job. But if you don't have access or you just want to do more of the work yourself instead of subbing out, that you don't even have to sub it out to a painter now. It just comes finished and you can just install it and go. I mean, you could turn around a kitchen in like less than a month for a homeowner, start to finish. It's interesting. So, but that wasn't the main reason I came on tonight. We were talking about employees, but what's interesting is a lot of the guys that work at this company are young, and they all. It's funny. They all like to wear the company shirt, like Fabuwood gives. Of course, they all the kids have, and they just have nice gear. The kids love working for the company. you're shocked at how many young kids, they have a lot of pride in being able to fix stuff because their parents can't do it. And it's kind of like a cool thing. Like you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you remember what it was like when I was growing up. Like, my dad could do all the stuff around the house. So I wasn't teaching him anything. I might show him like a new tool that came out that I was like, Dad, we should check this out. But like, if I wanted to learn how to do the thing, he knew how to do all that. These kids today, they're showing like they're impressing their parents because their parents can't do crap. So it's a whole new generation. Yeah, they do. And look, it just is what it is, right? The kids like getting the swag. But think about it. Like, if that's what it takes to attract some young kids to come work for your team, get them the hats, get them the sweatshirts, but get them cool shit. Don't buy the $5 Hanes sweatshirt that you wore back in the 90s. Get them the cool Under Armour gear. Like, they'll wear it if you get them nice stuff. You know what I mean? And it's only a few more dollars. At the end of the day, it pays for itself. Plus, when you show up with the homeowner recognize like, damn, this company is hip. They got nice stuff. So I'm not saying it has to be Under Armour, but it's that style. You know what I mean? Yeah. And think about a lot of these young kids, they want to be part of something. And if you create the right fit, if your company logo is kind of cool, if your t-shirts are like sharp looking, like these kids they'll rep it for you. They want to be a part of that. They'll wear it when I'm not saying they're going to wear it when they go out all the time, but they will keep it on. And when they're like at the end of their workday, maybe when they're going to the grocery store or whatever. And that's like, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm at a lot of out and about during my normal day, I get people that like tap me on the shoulder because a lot of times I'm wearing a t-shirt or sweatshirt or a polo that has the company, something about the company on it, right? Several times I've been standing in line getting lunch because I like to get I don't go to fast food, so I'll go to like a grocery store and do like a hot or cold bar. I'll make my own lunch, right? You know what I mean? You get like the salad bar, you get like a chicken breast, throw in some vegetables, whatever. So I'm checking in and out of these grocery stores middle of the day, and I'll have people start talking to me. Oh, you do construction, and then they want to like, oh, you guys do kitchens, baths. So I don't know about you guys, but that happens to me. And it could be happening with your employees, is what I'm saying. If you have cool gear that they'll wear it when they're out in public. So, yeah. So it's just little things. I know up front the first time you put in that order, it's expensive, right? If you're going to order like 10 sweatshirts, maybe 10 polos or a couple button downs, and then you're going to order a bunch of t-shirts, get a couple short sleeve, maybe get a couple long sleeve. I mean, I know it's expensive. I know you're probably going to spend like $1,000, $500, but it really does pay for itself down the road. I mean, and you got to remind yourself, like, I'm in business, like, this is a business expense. And your team, like, if you meet up on a job site, it just gives a much better impression to the homeowner. Like, we always do two colors. All right. So I get like the guys like a light gray shirt that technically that's to wear more in the summertime. They can wear it whenever they want. But if we're working outdoors, building an addition, and we also have like navy blue shirts. So the navy blue shirts, they can be hot in the summertime, right, in our area. So that's why, yeah, I give them two colors. And when you pull up on any job site and you look and you see I mean, the guys either have on blue or gray. Now, all of our sweatshirts are blue, all of our polos are blue. But for the guys working out in the field, we give two different t-shirts. And they each get a long sleeve of each color. And then they get like, I don't know, three of the other ones. It's enough to last more than a week. You know what I mean? So, if the guy's brand new, maybe you give him like three or four t-shirt, you give him five t-shirts. And then over time, if they've been with you for a while, they acquire a few more. Maybe you change the design a little bit one year, do something special. So, yeah, embroidery, especially for any shirt that you're going to wear as like the representative when you meet with the homeowner. 100% for you. And I would even, and this is something I did, is all of my lead carpenters get a nice button down and a polo, because a lot of times I had or would have the lead carpenter meet on a job site with a homeowner, especially when we do what's called our pre-construction meeting, because the job is being transitioned from production sales into production. And this way, that lead carpenter, like, he's working out on a job site during the day wearing his t-shirt, but when we go and we do the meeting with the homeowner for the pre-construction, in the back, hanging on the hanger or folded up, he just pulls out his other nice shirt, puts that on, and then he really he feels valued. He walks in, he looks nice, and the homeowner treats him with a little bit more respect because he has a collar on his shirt, or he has something like this, that's nice and clean. It doesn't have caulk shit all over the sleeves like his work shirt might. But it's a very clean, professional look. And then obviously when that meeting's over, he goes back, takes that shirt off, and then he's back out on a job site. So something to think about if you guys run that style of a business. I found it to be very beneficial. So, and I found the guys take good care of those shirts. They have a lot of pride. They have pride in it, is what I found. But yeah, we get the logo would be embroidered over here, on the dressier shirts. Absolutely. And then some of the guys like their name embroidered on the shirt. Um, what we normally only do that for guys that have been with the company for over like a year or two. You don't get the name on your shirt when you first join. You kind of have to earn that. But that's something you should try. And I'm not saying you have to do it the same way, but little things like that can make a difference. Like, once people start to see that there's a little bit like a hierarchy, and I'm not saying you make them wait 5 years, but maybe like you have to wait at least a year. Okay. Or they can have their name, but they don't get the really nice two-toned Under Armour shirt. They only get the one-toned. And the only way you get the two-toned that these veterans wear is after you've been here like a year and a half. You know what I mean? Whatever. It's interesting. You can do some things like that, and it helps. It's really, if you ever played sports, that's a big thing in sports. Like, the rookies don't always get the same thing as the veterans, with little things like that. So anyhow, all right. Don't know if anybody has any other questions. Kind of just was a random night here. Yeah, Jan, it really does. Um, and especially with the younger generation, it's crazy. They want to be a part of something, because if you think about it, they spend most of their life isolated. So it's very interesting. The area I'm in, I've been working with some remodelers in my area that are down in. We have some hotbeds in the city. 20 years ago, if you went up and down these certain neighborhoods, certain zip codes, every 5 or 10 houses, there was contractors rehabbing these old houses in the city. I mean, it was everywhere. Hence, if you were a contractor, you'd want to be down in those neighborhoods a lot, right? You could get business just from having your vehicle, just from working on the street. Other homeowners or other young people that were trying to buy in the neighborhood, they'd want to get your name and number to say, hey, we're getting ready to buy this house. We want to flip it, rehab it, to live in it, whatever. It's not like that today. You go in these neighborhoods and there's very few people doing the renovations like that. So where I'm going with this is, young kids today are living like in apartment complexes. They're not socializing. They don't go out to bars. So they don't have a good connection because they're always on their phones, and they're at home watching social media. They don't go out on the weekends to go and do like big parties like the older generation did. So they actually they get a lot of their socializing through their work environment. And when you think about that, that's why trying to create a little bit of a culture where the kids can have more fun. Maybe you start up a sports team for your group. I don't know. If you have a warehouse, you put in like a pool table, foosball, so that the guys can come back and play. I'm not sure all the answers to that, but I'm saying that these kids are looking for companies where they can have like some social interaction with people and not just work, is what I'm saying. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, Jan, I'm not sure what it is. I think that I know some young kids definitely are priced out of the market. They can't afford homes, but a lot of the younger kids, they don't want to sacrifice and wait. And here's what I mean. Like for me, I bought my first house in my 20s, and the only way I could afford the neighborhood was I had to buy a fixer upper. And I mean, I spent like a year fixing that house up, and it was hard work. Young kids today, they don't want to wait a year to get into a house. They'd rather just go rent an apartment complex that has all the nice things, has the swimming pool, has the social bar area, has a coffee bar in the morning, whatever. They'll move into a renovated place, but it has to be already done. They're not. I'm just saying, like there is not. This isn't the case across the board, but in general, my generation, we were much more willing to wait for something and work for it. These kids just want it done now. So there's a little bit less renovation work happening right now with the younger kids. It's still happening, but it's typically with older people. Uh, yeah. Hey, look, Ricky Vargas, we're not into like that here. If you want to learn about remodeling, awesome. But otherwise, you're on the wrong channel. Uh, yeah, 10 years still adding on to your house. Awesome. Yeah. It's like your house is probably never done if it's like mine. Like there's there's always 6 more projects that you want to get done next week, but it'll take the next 3 years for sure. We're having a heck of a time right now. My girlfriend and I want to build like a nice shed workshop area, and we're on the water, and we're in the flood zone where this structure goes. So we have to go through all kinds of hoops. It's been crazy. It's been 3 months and we still can't get this permit to build. So, but yeah, otherwise, it is nice to be doing work on your house. So, anyhow, all right, guys. Anything else that you got? Uh, Well, the next few episodes I'll do are going to all be employee related. Let's see. Hold on a second. So I'll be talking about like the interview process, and let me see. Give me 1 second. Yeah, we'll be talking about just building a culture, training, how to handle conflict with kids, teams, things like that. So yeah, like the next several episodes are all going to be about hiring. All right. Well, unless you guys have anything specific that you want to ask, I'm going to bounce for this one, and then we'll be back. Very cool. Much appreciative, Jay Allen. Again, thank you for the participation. It's awesome. All right. You have a good one. And please, if you have any questions ever, Jay Allen, you just reach out. All right. No problem. I appreciate you being here. You guys have a good one.